There's breaking news tonight in a horrific case out of Colorado. The killings of a 34-year-old pregnant woman and her 2 little girls.
A man convicted of killing his pregnant wife and 2 daughters in Colorado.
Chris Watts, the husband of Shannan, that's how you pronounce it, has been placed into custody and is awaiting charges at this time.
Chris Watts handcuffed and head down in court on Tuesday as he was charged with the premeditated murders of his pregnant wife Shannan and their 2 little girls Bella and Celeste.
It's not something I could ever fathom would happen in my lifetime, and I have no inclination of where she is.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing an update on the Chris Watts case. I've done a couple videos on this case and I wanted to share with you some updates that I've heard in case you have not heard them. If you're new to my channel, a couple of my old videos from the Chris Watts case, in one of them I explain everything that they believed had happened. I go through the body camera footage, his body language, and a subliminal message that was shown on the TV, which I believe to be supernatural. I also did another video on some paranormal activity people had noticed in his house, which I thought was very interesting, but it also is extremely sad because of this whole thing. So I'm going to summarize kind of what the Chris Watts case is about. So basically it's about a father. He seemed to be a typical father with the American dream family. They lived in a great neighborhood in a very nice home. His wife was pregnant with their son and they had 2 baby daughters, Bella and Celeste. So something crazy happened. The wife and the children were missing. Chris Watts, he went on national television and explained that his family was missing, and then come to realize Chris Watts wasn't the man that a lot of people thought he was. So a lot of people noticed on the police body camera footage that was released, as well as the television interview, Chris was not acting like a typical person would if their family was missing. This showed a lot of red flags and it got police onto Chris Watts quick. Later, Chris Watts was found guilty for the murder of his pregnant wife as well as his 2 baby daughters. He is now in prison. He hadn't fully admitted yet, but lately it was released to the public that Chris Watts has confessed to the murders and explained everything that happened. So what we originally thought happened was that Chris and Shannan got into a fight. It got physical. Chris strangled Shannan and then he went into the children's bedrooms and strangled Bella and Celeste. There was a lot of controversy that people thought Shannan killed the 2 daughters, and in defense, Chris then killed Shannan. But a lot of things weren't adding up, and Chris has finally admitted to police exactly what happened that night. This is what Chris Watts claims to have happened now, which does make more sense than what he was claiming before. Shannan Watts got home from a business trip, and when she got home, her and Chris got into an argument. We found out Chris was having an affair, which he did admit to. I believe that they were thinking about getting a divorce. In the end, Chris lost his temper and he strangled Shannan Watts to death. People have also said that Shannan had a coffin birth of the unborn son, which I'm not positive if that is true, but if you guys know if that's true, please comment below. That's really sad and very disturbing. After Chris murdered Shannan, he then loaded her body into the truck. Bella and Cece saw him doing this and they kept asking, "What's wrong with mommy? Where are you taking her?" He said that mommy was sick and that he needed to take her to the hospital. So he put Bella and Cece in the back seat in their car seats and drove off to the oil and gas tank area that I believe had something to do with Chris's job. Once they got there, I believe he took Shannan's body and put it in a shallow grave. I'm not sure if he did this before or after killing Bella and Cece, but I know that he did put her in a shallow grave with her unborn son. He then took Cece, which was the youngest daughter, he took her favorite blanket and he covered her nose and her mouth with his hands with the blanket and began to smother her. Bella watched this whole entire thing happen. And that's extremely sad and disturbing to think about. So he killed Cece. He then took her body to the oil tanks and disposed of her. And then he came back to the car. Bella asked him, she said, "Are you gonna do what you did to Cece to me?" And she was smart. She was a smart young girl. She was older than Cece, so she did know what was going on more so than Cece probably would have. Chris said he doesn't remember if he answered her or not. He doesn't remember if he said yes or if he just went on to smothering her. He took that same blanket and he smothered Bella as well, then disposed of her in the oil tanks. This case has been really disturbing and it's really, really sad, so rest in peace to Bella, Cece, Shannan, and the unborn son. I'm glad that they caught Chris Watts and I'm glad that he's in jail. Let me know in the comments below if you know anything else. Thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you guys in my next video.